When you think of iconic images from the NBA over the last decade, Dwyane Wade's alley-oop to LeBron James in December of 2010 immediately comes to mind. You don't even need to describe it to remind people of what it looks like, particularly of the baseline angle shot by Maury Gash. You know the one. It's the photo that Wade recently said it was the only one he wanted hanging in his house after his career was over, complete with a LeBron signature on it. That image was also recently tattooed on a fan's skin, an incredible detail. According to the artist, it took 21 hours to complete, which makes sense given the amount of coloring and shading done. Via Instagram, that's a great moment to memorialize and top-notch execution. Former NBA point guard Mike Bibby used to be a pretty normal-sized guy. His basketball reference page lists him at 6'1" and 190 pounds. That was so very long ago. Bibby last played in 2011-12 for the New York Knicks, and in the meantime it appears he's spent the last 6 years or so entirely in the gym. As in, I'm not sure if he ever leaves the gym except to sleep and devour many whole roast legs of lamb. What I'm saying is, Mike Bibby is huge now. Jacked. Yoked. He's a beast. He's got deltoids the size of cantaloupes. Just for some perspective, let's remind you of what Bibby used to look like. Here's what Bibby looks like today, apparently. I'm actually happy to see this. It feels like too many athletes we see get out of shape because they still eat terrible diets. Seriously, many pro athletes still don't eat that well but don't burn 8,000 calories a day once they're retired. Bibby has taken it the other direction, and seems to have spent most of his time since retirement doing skull crushes. Good for you, Mike. Looking swole, bro. The only question now is it natty? The Denver Nuggets finished 9th in the Western Conference and are one of a few teams in the NBA that will likely find themselves struggling for a playoff spot despite having a massive salary. Per Hoops Hype, Denver has $106 million in committed cap space and holds for the 2018-19. So it makes sense the Nuggets would want to try and improve their talent-to-cap situation, preferably both, before the next starts. According to Michael Cunningham of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Denver is looking to offload some contracts, including forward Kenneth Faried. You may have heard this rumor before, because it's been widely acknowledged that Faried has been on the trade market for some time. Via AJC, the Hawks would seek draft picks, young players or both as a part of a deal with the Nuggets or any other team that wants to reduce payroll. The Nuggets own the number 14 overall pick in next week's draft, and their expendable young players include recent draft picks Malik Beasley and Tyler Lydon. The Nuggets are looking to reduce their salary commitments for next. Faried is owed $13.8 million in 2018-19, the final year of his deal, and he fell out of Denver's rotation with a career-low 461 minutes played. Cunningham's story goes on to name ways the Atlanta Hawks might take on Faried's contract, although come the offseason, particularly around the draft, it's likely there could be several teams in the mix to help offload the embattled forward. It comes as absolutely no surprise that the Hawks would be in on any deal centered on Faried and the number 14 pick. It also has to be noted that other teams would be willing to make the same deal. It's not just ATL. Brad Rowland at Beat Rowland, June 15, 2018. The Nuggets are in an interesting position given they have a pick in the top half of the first round, but are already loaded with a young core. Do they really need to add another player at that level and that age, or will they prioritize offloading salary? Faried has been waiting on the trade block for a while. No doubt his movement is the key for the Nuggets right now. Puma wants to jump back into the basketball game. The last time we were talking about anyone wearing Puma on a basketball court at about any level, it was Vince Carter signing with them straight out of North Carolina, then instantly wanting out of the deal, jumping to Nike a year later. Walt Clyde Frazier wore Puma back in the day. Puma is still prominent in soccer. They sponsor Arsenal FC, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and others, as well as having a considerable presence in track and field, sponsoring the Jamaican national team, for one. Basketball had been ceded to Nike, and to a lesser degree Adidas. No longer. They are going hard into this draft class to get new sponsors, reports John Krasinski of The Athletic. Marvin Bagley, projected to be one of the top picks in the NBA draft next week, is going to sign a 5-year deal with Puma that is expected to be the largest rookie shoe deal since Kevin Durant, sources tell at The Athletic. John Krawczynski at John Krawczynski, June 14, 2018. Puma is believed to be negotiating with other draft picks as well to jump into the NBA shoe game. John Krawczynski at John Krawczynski, June 14, 2018. Even the top rookies don't make that much money on shoe deals relatively, the top picks getting deals in the $2 million to $3 million range. That's the top end, often it is less. For Puma to come in and land Bagley, almost a lock top 3 pick, or any other player, they would have to come in way over the top on those standard deals. They did. Durant's deal was 7 years, $60 million, so this likely is in the $9 million or more a year range. We'll see if it works for the Germany-based shoe company. Basketball is a lucrative market, but it's hard to break the Nike stranglehold on it. Now, if Puma can design some suede game shoes worth talking. Today is the 20th anniversary of a bit of history, Michael Jordan hitting his final shot as a Chicago Bull, a pull-up mid-range jumper to beat the Utah Jazz in Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals. That shot gave Jordan his 6th ring. He also pushed off. The NBA allowed a more physical game then anyway, and in the final seconds of Game 6 of the Finals Jordan was going to get a lot of leeway, and he knew it, so he pushed off Long Beach State's own Brian Russell and created the space he needed to get a clean look. The NBA was celebrating that, putting the video out on social media. But check out the Utah Jazz official account pitching in. Well done, Utah. But Chicago gets to keep the banner.